Good morning, everyone. My name's Joey. Josie's over in the camper this morning. She got a coloring book and she's over there coloring. So she's not with me right at the moment, but she will be here shortly. No doubt in my mind. But here recently, I've gained a lot of new subscribers from another channel from Bill and Mikey, which is their channel's name is Celebrating Farm Life. Now, if you guys are not from them and you're from my channel, go give them a hit. Go give them a check out. They have become pretty good friends with us, and they have helped me quite a bit on my channel here, sending some of their subscribers over to me and subscribing, and those subscribers have been watching my videos, helping my hours out and things like that. So if you guys are not subscribed to them, go check them out and tell them I sent you. They like I said, they're over in South Carolina, but kind of similar to us. I think Mikey's kind of a city girl who's getting into the farming life. But go check them out. Like I said, they got an interesting channel. Everybody's being noisy this morning. I've not fed everybody. But seeing as how I got a lot of new people over to the channel, I figured it's been raining. I ain't been able to get nothing done this week. So since I got so many new subscribers and stuff, we're just going to do a little bit of a farm tour this morning and check some of the things out here and let you guys kind of know what me and Josie here got going on and how things going. Josie be out here in a minute. Dog was barking. She had to figure out who was coming around. But I got some of the feeding done this morning, but we're going to do some more feeding because everybody's hollering at me and squalling at me and crying at me and everything else. So we'll go feed some of these animals and get back to you guys here in a second. Okay. All right. We got most of our feeding done up here at the barn, and that's quieting it down a little bit so you can hear me, but the wind is blowing today, so it might make it a little hard for you to hear me because of the wind. But basically, we're here in South Central Kentucky, just about 20 minutes from a little lake town. It's called Somerset. You guys might know where that's at. The lake is Lake Cumberland. The Lake Cumberland, we're like 20 minutes away from several different spots we can get to at Lake Cumberland. A lot of boat access and things. But we have 14 acres here, which is mostly wooded now. But when we first bought this property, this was all wooded. Like everything you can see right here, this is all forest. Everything over in here, everything was all forest. And I've been sawing these trees down. I work with little to no money. So I've been sawing this stuff down with a chainsaw and selling the firewood in the wintertime, which is one of my main income sources is firewood. But it's mainly how we cleared it. But this property is kind of weird. I can't show y'all all the property at once because it lays kind of funny. But our county road is right here, and our access point comes up through here. That property where y'all can see that camper right there is somebody else's, and there's some property over here that is somebody else's. But once our little driveway comes up through here, right there, both sides of the road of this private drive is our property. And it basically follows this little ridge, comes out this ridge here. We set up on top of a ridge, but it goes down through here, it dips down. Our house sits right over here, but it dips down and then it comes back up on the hill back over on the other side. Now, I probably have 1,200 foot of county road frontage down through here, which this is probably the only part that's cleared off. Once you get right here, it all goes back into the woods, and that is all forest down through there. All this property down through here is all forest still, and drops over that hill, which is pretty steep, and it goes down to a point down there at the bottom. Don't go all the way to the bottom, but it gets pretty close to the bottom. It gets down to where it levels out just a little bit, but it still has a gradual slope and goes on down probably another 1,000 feet or so until it gets down to where the very bottom is. And at the very bottom is just another creek, and it shoots right back up the other side. There's another little county road down there. County road on each side of us. We're kind of surrounded by roads, honestly. There's probably about, altogether, they might be about 700 acres in here, but the whole property is surrounded by either a highway or a county road. Just makes a big circle in through here. And Josie's wanting to show her little coloring book. She's got LOL doll coloring book that her granny got for her yesterday. But we have this little camper here set up. That's her little hangout up here at the barn. Has electric and water hooked up to it. Air conditioning works in it. Heat don't work in it, but I can put a little electric heater in there. And she spends a lot of time in that during the hot part and cold parts when she don't want to come outside and play. Here's I call this the lot behind the barn. That's called a lot on the hill beside the barn. I call this lot over here the corner lot. Probably one of the, this would be the second lot I ever cleared off, is this lot here. And I made this little corner here. This is the first year I've had as much grass as I got now. Here we are, we're in the middle of June, and I got grass everywhere. We've had a real wet spring, and it's helped the grass tremendously. Are you all right over there, Moon Pie? It's just kind of a little bit of a look at the property. We'll ride down here and feed some other animals here in a minute, and we'll show you the kind of the rest of the property. There's a lot of property you're not going to get to see because I don't want to walk over the mountain or anything like that. But we have goats. These are just a mixed breed of dairy goats. There's La Mancha mixes in there. Not sure. I got two billies, this white billy and this black billy here, which will be going off to the sales here before long, because I got 3 does in here that I'm just wanting to make sure they're bred. And as soon as I know they're bred for sure, they'll be going off to the sales. I'm probably going to take this black one here maybe this week and go ahead and sell him. We got 3 more little does over here that was born back in the fall or early winter. But that's the reason I'm getting rid of the billies, is because these are offsprings from those. So that'll bring, once they get big enough, that'll bring my herd up to 6 does, breeding does, that I'll have. But we have these goats. I got some more goats here we'll show you here in a minute. But that's one thing I'm working on right now, is with goats. We have had sheep, but I got wool sheep that I had to shear, and it just wasn't a fun experience for me. I didn't like shearing them. It was just hard to do. When I first got them, the guy I bought them from was the guy I used to work for, and he would get his sheared, and I'd just take mine and get mine sheared with his, and that was fine. Well, he sold his whole farm, sheep and all, and I didn't have nowhere to take them, and I didn't have enough to get somebody to come out and do it, and I didn't know anybody else that was getting it done, so I wound up having to try to do it myself with hand shears, and it just wasn't a fun experience. So we just sold them. I might try to get more sheep later on, because I'm getting enough grass. I need something to eat the grass. Goats, they'll eat grass, but it's not their favorite thing to eat. So we do have some chicks. It's another little thing I've been working on. Right here we have a little broider. It's got a double lid with a screen here. These chicks, some of these are ready to go outside. I think there's 3 in here that's small that won't be ready to go outside. But when they go outside, you can see we got cats. We got cats everywhere. A lot of them's hanging out right here right now because I ain't fed them yet. A couple more over here. But when they go outside, we've built this little outside grow out pen. And we move my here. I got 10 in here right now. And kind of my goal for these chickens is I want to replace some of my older egg-laying chickens I have down here, and we'll show those here in a minute. And I'm going to take those and sell them, the ones I replace. And then once, kind of just keep that going on, keep where I can take maybe 4 or 5 a month or something there and sell them. Not too many, just a little bit. Josie likes doing the incubator. We got a couple little small incubators in there. She likes doing the incubators, so I'm just going to try to sell them when they get a little bigger. I went to the sales and I've done a few things. They sell a lot better when they're bigger. The babies didn't sell for, I took some babies and they only brought like $1 a piece. So we're gonna wait and let them get a little bit bigger. Around here in this area, a little bit bigger, they'll bring like $15 or something. So we do have some meat chickens. It's Cornish cross. These I am raising for somebody else, and I'm gonna butcher them and package them and get them ready for them, and they're gonna buy them from me. Not very many. There's 10 in here. I started out with 13. One was sick. The girl, I bought them at Tractor Supply. The girl gave me the 13th one because it wasn't even acting right, but it was the last one in their little pen that they had. So she just throwed it in for free. It died like a couple days after that, but I've had 2 die. I think one might have died from heat. I'm not sure why the other one died. If you know anything about Cornish cross, they're bred to grow. They have heart problems and they stress out real easy. So you can have some to die occasionally. The last time I raised some, I got 6, and none of them died. This time I had the 13, I had 3 die. So, that's pretty much our chickens, other than laying chickens. We'll catch up with them here in a minute. We do have cooney pigs. Gary here is a boar. Here's our sow. They've had 1 litter of pigs, and now I can't get them. They're breeding, but she's not taking. And I can't get her to take. I've tried different things. I've moved her out from him, left her out from him for a couple months, put her back in, they'll breed. She just is not taking. I don't know. I like the cooney pigs. I love the meat. We've eaten some of the meat from them. They're just not, she's not taking. I'm not sure if it's him or if it's her. So I'm kind of debating. I've been looking a little bit, not nothing serious, but I have been looking. And I'm going to replace one of them. I just ain't figured out which one yet. I guess whenever I find a deal on a registered stock, because I want them to be registered. If I find a good deal on a boar or a good deal on a sow, I'm going to get that one put in there and try to figure out which one is the issue. Like I said, I don't know which one. She's had 1 litter, so it's kind of weird. I do know since that litter, Bella, the sow, has become deaf. She can't hear anymore. Very, very, very. If she can hear at all, it's not much. Like I said, a lot of times if she's laying down in the building or something like that, I actually got to go up and poke her to get her to come out to feed. She can't hear you, to get her to come.
Can you open this?
That's kind of where we're at on the coonies right now. We also have rabbits. These are 2 bucks here. And the rabbits, we don't eat too many. We've eaten some here and there. For the most part, I try to sell them to buy feed with. And I'm pretty sure she is in labor this morning. Both of these are due tonight and in the morning. Today's day 30, and they're 31 is their gestation, I think the word. But yeah, I noticed yesterday, and I mentioned on a comment last night, I kind of expected to have babies from her this morning, because she was pulling a little bit of fur yesterday. But not yet, but I'm pretty sure she's in labor. Got this little girl. These are 3 boys left over from the last litter that we've not sold yet. And another one of my does here. And then these 2 girls over here from the last litter that we've not sold yet. Hey girl, these 2 are friendly. I don't know why they're so friendly and the rest of them's not. But there's our rabbits. I'd kind of almost forgot the rabbits, so we'll have to move this part of this video. We'll have the magic of editing and put it back up with the animals. Alright, now we're down here at the other end of the property. Now here's 3 other little goats we got. This brown white spotted one here is a boar billy goat that I bought to replace the 2 billy goats that I'm gonna be selling. The other 2, this white one, I banned, so he's a wether. The little black one I left as a billy. The reason I left him as a little Billy is it seemed like the Billy goats were selling better than the Weathers at the sales. So when I do take these two off, we'll see how it goes.
I got some in my boot.
Yeah, you got something in your boot? But these two and the three up there were the 5 goats that were born here last fall. This lot is the first lot that I cleared off here. Our property line, can't hardly make it out. There's a little building up there. My phone focuses on my finger when I stick my finger up there. The property line's just past that. And then it drops over the hill here and goes down to that point like I was talking about a while ago. The barn is right up there. The property line comes down and they meet down here, and I have a spring down here at the bottom of this hill, right in the point where they meet at. The other line goes down here to the county road, and we own all the county road side all the way back up, and got that little curve there. There's our property line. But yeah, this lot was the first lot I worked on, because this 14 acres was 2 separate lots. If I can make that little fence out right there, but that's the divider in between the 2 lots. We bought this lot first. Somebody else had the other lot. We purchased it like 5 years later. So I worked on this lot first and got it kind of cleared off and fenced off. And I eventually want to get all this hillside all the way down to the road. I don't want it cleared, but I do want it to where I can get animals on there. I don't let the goats in there right now because it's full of mountain laurel. And mountain laurel is a little bit toxic to goats. They don't eat on it a lot, but occasionally one will nibble on it and it makes them sick. So we don't, I need to get that cleared off. I'd like to have money, get somebody come in with a bulldozer and just kind of scrape off all the little trees and the mountain laurel and leave the big trees and not disturb them. Just to get that took care of. Yeah, kind of weedy in here. There's actually a big rock pile right there where I've been picking rocks up out of this field. Lots of rocks. Y'all can't tell. Just rocks everywhere here. Sandstone. It's not limestone, it's sandstone. They're kind of soft and brittle. Huh? You petting on him? Petting on little buddy? That's little buddy. The white one's called Galaxy, and the spotted one's called Polka Dot. This shed come from a barn I tore down. Got this shed basically for free. All the posts, the wood, the metal, everything come from a barn that I tore down. The other barn up there that we was just at was a barn I tore down for somewhere. Basically got all that for free. Just had to tear it down and rebuild it, and bought screws and paint and different things. That's where our buildings come from. Okay, quit moving it. Why are you moving it around?
I'm moving it back over here for him.
Yeah. Let's go over here and check out our laying chickens. Now here's our chicken coop. We keep our laying chickens in. I don't like having them in this coop, I'll be honest with you. I want them out running around. And I am very, very seriously thinking about trying to get some electric netting to be able to put kind of around this area maybe, or something or other, to be able to let these out so that they can get out and be chickens, I don't really necessarily like them. They're laying eggs good. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm down to 5 hens. These are Sapphire Gem and Barred Rock mixes, other than one. There's one in there and you can't hardly make her out because it's trying to focus in on that fence. Here we go. Maybe I need to, that brown one in there, she's some kind of Easter egger or something. I don't know. She lays a blue egg. That's all I know. She was given to me from somebody, so I don't know exactly what it is. But yeah, we had problems with a raccoon or a possum or something got in here the other night. Killed 2 of my hens. And I did pretty sure right over here, and it was hard to make out. As you can see, it actually come back that next night and tried to dig back under there again. I put this big old rock in here, but I kind of covered all that up with that hay. As you can see, that hay's been pulled back. They tried to get back in there again, but they didn't get in there. I got a big rock on this side and a big rock on the other side, so they wasn't able to get in there. Well, it don't look like the last 2 nights don't look like they've tried, so I guess that's took care of that little situation for the time being. That's the things like that. they'll eventually come back, or a different one will come back or something. Come and see our property here a little bit better. But I have had this fenced off and had some smaller pigs in on this hillside last year, which my experience, pigs do not do well on hillsides. They don't seem to like them. They avoid them. But our house sits right over here. The driveway goes up that hill to the barn. We hear you, Rooster. What?
We lost a bucket of one.
We lost a bucket. We lost a bucket.
We lost one of them.
We lost one there in the four-wheeler. But yeah, I mean, there's a pretty good area around this coop that I could run some electric netting around. And I'd like to get those where I can get them back out during the day and lock them up at nighttime. Now we'll look at some garden stuff. I do garden a little bit. Here, oh, I'm sorry, I'm probably shaking y'all to death. This little garden here, just some corn with bush beans down in the bottom of it. There's a couple rogue tomato plants in there here and there. But this corn's got blowed down a couple times. It looks like it's got blowed down again, or something's got in there and laid on it. I'm not sure. There's definitely a big area there that's got blowed over, or something's got in there and rode on it. I don't know. But y'all stood back up from the other storm. Something's got it again. It's not doing the greatest in the world, to be honest with you. I think it's just way too much rain this spring. I'm not really fussing about it, but it's affected positively in some areas. My grass, very positive for the grass, but it's also hit negative in some areas. I don't think these beans and corn, my tomato plants, different things that we've got growing, I think it's been so much rain that it's actually hurt. And I think that's the issue with this corn. I think the ground is just so soft, it don't take much of a wind to blow it over. We'll go up here and we'll check out the other gardens too. And in our garden up here, it's kind of looks like a jungle. This part I've kept weeded and stuff, kind of, sort of. It's not near as bad, but I got 4 rows of potatoes. These 3 are probably about a month ahead of this row. And then we have tomato plants over here. I got some big beef, I think it is, and then there's some cherry tomatoes in there, and then there's some banana pepper plants right over there. And that big bush over there is actually a compost pile. It's just all growed up. Over here there's a row of pumpkins. These sunflowers all come up volunteer, and there's lots of potatoes in here that's volunteer. There's a row of squash here and a row of watermelon here. But we mainly growing them the pumpkins. I feed to the pigs. It's a natural dewormer. I try to raise pumpkins for those. The squash is going to be for the pigs. The watermelon's for us. The sunflowers, I said those come up volunteer. I planted them 2 years ago. We planted like 3 rows of them just to save the heads and feed them to the chickens in the winter time. It worked out pretty good. And we've had volunteers come back every year since. I've not intentionally planted any. They just come back on their own. And it's kind of like the potatoes. It's probably, if I was to dig them all up and put them in a row, there's probably a whole row of potatoes in there that's come up volunteer. And I've just let go and let them grow. Got one little we got our horticulture beds over here. It's the word for it, but got these 2 beds here that I built out of some just old logs that I had left over from sawing the wood that wasn't good for firewood. But this bed I got strawberry plants, and I started off with 6 plants last year, and I'm up to, I think I counted them the other day, I think there's 20 plants in here now. Can't remember, but one of the goats got out because I forgot to shut a gate, and she come down in the early part of spring and nibbled them right down to the ground. They wasn't nothing. I mean, you barely tell where the plants was at, but they've come back but got a real slow start. In here we just got some random pumpkin and squash and watermelon plants. This one big pumpkin's taking over everything. There's a little watermelon there. I think there's a squash here and a squash there. Maybe a squash here or something. I can't remember how I said, Don't remember exactly how I planted it. Got a little pole bean growing wild. Volunteered. This corn I put in here because I didn't have nothing planted in this. I planted some radishes in here, which we've done harvested and fed to the pigs. And it was empty, so I just had some corn left over. And I just broadcast it in there, gonna let it grow up and let it get 3 or 4 foot tall and feed it to the pigs. And it's actually doing pretty decent. But we just done it to, seen it on a different video where a guy was doing like an acre, or I think it might have been 3 acres actually, of a field. He was just broadcasting corn in there, and he's going in there and taking out a swipe, like a 10 foot wide swipe at a time, just pulling it right out of the ground, shaking the dirt off of it and feeding it to pigs and feeding his pigs that way. And then he'd go, when he'd get that swipe done, he'd rotiller it up and replant corn right back in it again. And he was doing that to feed his pigs, which is he says it was saving him money, but I just had that little spot and figured I'd just do it for fun. But that's kind of a tour. Like I said, I can't show you, I can't get to all the property right now because I don't want to walk down in these woods. But I eventually want to get that fenced off. You can see I got this is the last lot that I fenced off. I fenced this lot off back in the fall or in the winter, and to where I could get my goats over in here. But my fence line actually goes over that hill there. But this part of that hill is so steep, you can't even walk down it. It's so steep, you just got to slide down and crawl back up. So I'm kind of coming over a little bit with my fence, and I want to run it over, and I eventually want to fence in all this stuff, probably mainly just for goats. It would be all right for the goats. Maybe sheep or something like that if it did get grass on it. It's not something I want to go in there and just try to saw, and it's all on that hillside and there's no access to the bottom. Might be something I might look at later on, trying to get somebody in here and get me access to where I can get down there in that bottom. But it would work for the goats. There's it don't get a lot of sun, so I don't know how the grass and stuff would grow, or even if you could get grass to grow, but it would be good for the goats. Up there where those boy goats is at, that lower lot there, I would like to get that eventually sometime fenced off, because I could keep younger pigs on that. But my main goal right now, we got money coming in from firewood, we got money coming in from rabbits, hopefully have money coming in from some chickens here before long. We done really, really good with the cooney pigs, that 1 litter I did have. Like I said, I can't, she's not taking. And so I'm kind of hung up on the pigs right now. They're definitely just draining money right now. They're not making babies and they're not bringing in money. So they're draining right now, so that's got to get fixed. Okay, honey, I don't need to help you right now. So we got to do something with the pigs. The gardens, that's for us. I'm not a super big gardener. There's not a lot of vegetables our family eats. Potatoes, corn, watermelon, the green beans, but nobody eats green beans other than pickled green beans, so I had to pickle those. I am going to try to do some canning videos here when stuff gets ready. I'm going to try to do some canning videos, do some canning, pickled green beans, potatoes, some of that stuff. Yeah, that's kind of what me and Josie do around here, just a little bit of a tour. I do have a tractor. It's David Brown. It's a David Brown, so y'all know it's old. They don't make David Brown no more. I think it's a 70s model tractor, but do a lot of putting out the hay, stretching fence with it, pulling stumps, dragging trees that I saw, things like that. It's got a front end loader on it, which I had broke at once upon a time, and I just got it fixed back. So, but our kind of little bit of a tour. We just want to try to get this place to where it's self-sustaining and where it takes care of itself. That's my main goal. Eventually, yeah, I would like to get to where it's almost to the point where it's self-sustaining now. I mean, we're right there. I mean, I stay at home. Josie's my granddaughter. She's since I've had her, which we've had her almost 4 years now. She'll be 4 in July. We've almost had her 4 years. I've stopped work to watch her here at the house. So my wife works. That's where the source of income I have is from my wife. But I had a stretch there from, I think probably somewhere in October all the way up into probably in May, that I didn't have to get any money from her, from our account or anything, to buy anything for the the land, the farm, the feed. I fenced off this whole lot, bought the posts, bought the fence, all this stuff actually paid for itself. I didn't have to take from that to do any of that. So we're getting there. We're getting to the point where it's kind of sustaining itself. Not all the way there yet, but we're getting close. That's the main goal, to get to that point, and then eventually start getting to where we can start making some money. I'm getting more. This is the first year I've had this grass. Like I said, y'all seeing this video, y'all seeing lots of grass. I didn't have that last year. Last year I had this little small corner lot, the lot up there where those boy goats was at, and one little bitty part. Let me get over here where you can see just a little bit better. This little section right here. That's all the grass I had last year. This area here, and down there where those boy goats is at, that was it on the grass. So, I mean, by probably in May even, it was already gone. The goats, I had some sheep then too. It was already gone. They wasn't nothing there. So like this year, I have lots of grass, so that's helping out. So that's where I want to incorporate. Maybe getting some sheep back, but I want to get the hair sheep, and just keeping the ram just for breeding, because I had issues with the ram wanting to hit Josie. He got pretty aggressive. So that, if I can get more cleared off, get more grass, I'm gonna take that next step up to cattle. Buy some cattle in the spring, maybe even the fall. Keep them all summer long. Let them have having grass, and just let them eat grass. Sell them in the fall. So that'll be a big, that'll be the last step, getting to that point where we can get cattle in here maybe. Not much, because like I said, I only have 14 acres here. A lot of it's wooded and ain't going to be suitable to be able to get grass on or get cattle down in on and stuff like that. But, 3 or 4 calves or something other in the spring to raise up and sell, might be all right. We eventually want to get to butchering. We do butcher our own chickens and butcher our rabbits. But I would like to get maybe where I can butcher goats and hogs also. I definitely will have to wait for Josie to get a little bit bigger before I can get into stuff like that. If y'all haven't noticed on this video, there's times where I get really rushed. She's trying to talk to me, trying to get me to do something, or she's just doing something she shouldn't be or something like that. And it causes me to get rushed, causes me to get sidetracked in my head. There is lots of things right now I still, there's lots I can do, but there is lots I can't do. Especially when it comes to long time consuming things. I don't get where I can't have a 6-hour span where I'm locked down for 6 hours doing something, because she's not going to allow me to do that. Right now, I can saw some trees, I can pull some logs. She likes riding on the tractor, but she knows if I'm pulling logs, she don't want to be on there. So she'll come over here and stay in the camper or stay in the barn or something and play. And I'll just try to stay where I can keep an eye on her a little bit. Doing the garden stuff. Like, she works with me in the garden. She works with me doing fencing. She's with me doing lots of this stuff on here. And that's another reason for doing this stuff. She's learning lots of stuff. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but I think that's about as much tour as I can possibly get right now. It's just been rainy. We've not been able to do nothing hardly at all. I've been burning on the stump back here. I've took a couple pieces of metal back there, roofing metal, to cover it up, because it's just raining and putting my fire out or damping it down so much that it's not burning. I've got pieces of metal back there covering up fires, trying to burn stumps. That's how I can try to get rid of most of my stumps. But appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate all the new subscribers and the new people that's come along. And appreciate Mikey and Bill. for sending a lot of you guys over here. But we'll wrap it up for this video. I probably drug this one on forever. But we appreciate you guys watching. And somebody always like saying bye on these videos. She's getting her winking down for Allison. Greg's commented on her wink. She's getting her wink in there pretty good now. She got a double wink going this morning. It's just one, remember? Yep. But we appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Oh, and a little side note. I was going to mention this to Greg in a comment, but it's kind of hard to explain it in a comment. But we was out here working, and for some whatever reason, she'd told me something, caught me off guard a little bit. I was like, what? I put 2 pieces of metal back here in the back corner just to give these chicks a place, you know, to get out of the wind a little bit in the rain when because it's been raining so much and it's blowing rain in on them. But I don't know if y'all can make it out. There's a little step. It's a step that come with the camper. But it was sitting over here. And I raised this lid up and put Josie over there. I said, would you move that step from there to there? And she asked me if Greg told me to do that. And I don't know why she asked me that, but I thought Greg might find that funny. Let's see, y'all. I do read y'all's comments. She likes when y'all specifically comment to her. But we appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next one.